Hey guys, kinggath here with some mod news. So I've got two updates for you to some of my mods, some talk of another mod author's mods, and a request for some recruitment help. So let's get into the first one, which is actually going to be somebody else's mods, and that's because it's going to be the first thing you see, so I figure I'll talk about that first. If you haven't seen it already, Registrator 2000 has released a faster workshop mod, and what this does is it does two things. It adds a hotkey to go into workshop mode, and you'll notice that I went in instantly. Now that's partly because of the hotkey, which allows you to skip that holding down for the wait period, but it also speeds up the code that loads up your workshop menu. So for those of you who have tens of thousands of workshop items, especially people using the Project Blueprint mods, you are going to want to grab that mod. It is awesome. Now unfortunately it's only available for F4SE users, but that's a lot of the great toys. This is one of them. And I want to talk about one other one. So something that I've been mentioning pretty much for the last 2 years I've been modding is that as soon as I heard of a fix for the scrap crash, and I'm sure most of you have experienced this at some point in your time playing Fallout 4, that's where when you try and scrap something or build something with power, your game crashes, and it usually will happen in a particular settlement, and that settlement is basically just screwed in your save. Well, we finally have a fix on the horizon, at least again for F4SE users. So I'm currently looking for people who have saves with that can help me do a little more research, because if we can track down exactly what's causing this, we have a very keen idea, and we do have a fix available for you guys via F4SE. But if we can get a little more information, some more save files, it's possible we might be able to fix this for more people. So I need you guys who have saves that have the scrap crash to get those to me. So head to the simsettlements.com forums. You will see a post, I will link it below, that says, have you experienced the scrap crash? And I will include information there on how you can get me your save files, or how you can contact me directly to get working on that fix, to rescue your save, and also to get us the information we need to continue researching the problem. So for those of you guys who have a save that's broken from the scrap crash, have a fix for you, and hopefully your saves will help us find a fix for everybody. All right, now let's talk Workshop Framework and Workshop Plus. So first up, Workshop Framework, patch 1.0.5 is up. This is a big patch. It is a ton of stability issues that are fixed in it. I found some core code problems that were hitting some of you guys kind of hard. Thank you to everybody who sent me save files to research on that. And I added a couple of new things that I think all of you guys are going to appreciate. So the first up is I added a new MCM and holotape option to turn off the shelter mechanic. So if you're not familiar with the shelter mechanic, there is a part of the base game, and it's obviously made it into Workshop Framework because I kept everything intact, where if roofs aren't detected above your settlers' beds, you will lose happiness. Well, unfortunately, the game is terrible about actually detecting roofs, so what you end up having is a penalty to your happiness all the time in various settlements. Well, now you can turn off that penalty in the Workshop Framework options. So it's available here in MCM and also in the Workshop Framework holotape. So if you want to turn off shelter, you can do that. The other thing you will see in action when I show off the new feature of Workshop Plus, but I'm going to explain it now for you guys who are mod authors out there. So I often get requests for how we did the blue men in the Project Blueprint mods. A lot of you guys have seen them in the city plans. So if you're a mod author and you're looking for a template on how you can make workshop items that only display in workshop mode and otherwise disappear out of your player's view, I have a script for doing that in Workshop Framework. You can just toss it onto the object you're creating, set up a few options, and Workshop Framework will handle all of the disappearing and reappearing act of your object. So definitely check that out. I have updated the wiki page on the Workshop Framework GitHub repo. So if you're a mod author looking to add that functionality to your mod, you just got to make Workshop Framework a requirement and you have instant access to that. Or if you're script fluent, you can pull the data out of Workshop Framework, because my scripts are now open source for this. All right, and now we're on to the flashy stuff. With the Workshop Plus 1.0.2 patch, I've added a feature a lot of you have requested that I previously didn't know how to do, but fortunately, all of these talks with Registrator 2000 have given me a lot of insight into how some things work that I did not understand prior. So I have a lot of new power, and I have now added a huge bunch of things I'm going to add to Workshop Plus to my to-do list, so expect lots and lots of updates to that over the coming months. So the new feature is the ability to grab all of the items on the layer at once, and you do that through a layer handle. Now this can be built under your special menu, and it also has a hotkey available you can set with MCM to add this thing or have this thing appear right in front of you. Now you'll notice that the number of the current layer appeared over it and it flashed red for a moment. And basically when you're working with the layer handles, if that number has red around it, just leave the layer handle alone. It means it's doing something that involves position data and that moving it could cause a problem. So once it finishes and flashes green, you're free to pick up the layer handle, which will also grab all of the items on the layer. Now the real power in this is with the clone hotkey, as you'll be able to clone all of the items in place on that layer, and then as soon as it flashes green, you can move your layer handle and take all those items with you, leaving the cloned items where they were. Now if you want to grab all of the items again on the layer, just simply place the handle again. It will move it from wherever it was to right in front of you, and then it will start adding all of the new items you've added to the layer since you last created the handle. And now I can grab all of these items and then clone all of those. Again, it goes to red, so you can kind of continuously add to the layer in batches and then turn them all into a big clonable group. Now, I'm sure some of you guys who are thinking about how this feature might work are already thinking of ways to improve it, and I hear you. I've thought of lots of different things we can add, but this is kind of a proof of concept version that will give you a lot more power to play with. I am always open to suggestions, though. Head to the simsettlements.com forums. We have a section specifically for Workshop Plus where you can make suggestions on how I can improve this system. Now, I am going to release a video later tonight detailing all of the cool stuff you can do with Workshop Plus. I know I haven't released a video yet for that, and that is because I was having a lot of trouble showing people how to use the layer system in a video because I didn't have something simple to use like the handle. So the handle solves a big problem in the layer system, and now I'll be able to teach the system pretty easily, because prior all we had was the duplicate layer system, which was very confusing to show somebody who wasn't used to like a Photoshop type software. But I think this clone tool plus the layer handle makes it way easier to understand the power of the layer system. And like I said, I have tons of new ideas for cool stuff I can do now with the power of these handles, so watch out for tons of new updates coming over the coming weeks to Workshop Plus. One of the big things that's coming for sure is another thing I learned from Registrator 2000 is how I'm going to be able to implement the undo, redo, and clone keys on Xbox, which I thought was previously going to be not possible, which that means that same method will be able to be used for players who don't want to use MCM/F4SE on PC. So everybody's going to have access to all of the features of Workshop Plus in the future. That's going to be my next target goal for the 1.03 patch of Workshop Plus, so keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited to be able to do that because, as many of you guys know, I prefer to develop for everybody and not limit things to F4SE users. Ooh, a little crack there. So there are lots of features coming, but this 1.02 patch primarily adds the layer handles, but it also fixes some deep code bugs that I figured out while working on the Workshop framework bugs. And so you should find that Workshop Plus does not cause as much script lag as it was prior. It's much more optimized, and so this is a very, very good patch for you guys to grab. All right, so beyond all of that, that covers all of our patch and mod news. Next, I want to talk about some settlements, and that is that there is a patch planned for next Friday. Watch out for that. But more importantly, I want to talk about recruitment, because as I've mentioned, we are not stopping development just because a new Fallout game is coming out. We have lots more in store for some settlements, but we also need some more help. We have grown into a pretty massive plan for our next big thing for some settlements, and we have let that thing feature creep, and we want to pull off some more stuff. So we need some more help. So there's a few things we've got open in the recruitment right now. One, I'm still looking for somebody who considers themselves a perfectionist who would like to help us perfect all of the city plans, get those floating items out of there, fix up the balance of food, water, power, etc. So if you want to optimize the city plans in as far as making them perfect so that they work exactly how you want to see them work, We can teach you all the workflow. It's all done in the game. So I just need somebody who has the time and the attention to detail to pull it off, who's willing to take on that task. So if that's you, definitely contact me. And with all of these recruitment things, one of the reasons that some of you may have applied and never heard back is because in all of my recruitment threads, I start with the same thing, which is send me a private message in the forum. So if I tend to follow the example of, if you can't follow the initial directions, then you're probably not going to be fit to follow all of the directions for the project. So if you want to do any of these positions on some settlements, definitely read through the entire recruitment thread post about that particular position, because if you can't follow that startup stuff, I'm not going to even contact you to be recruited. So the other open positions right now, there's actually more than what I'm going to talk about right now, but I'm just going to talk about a few that are open either recently or that we need very, very soon. The next one up is a character artist, and you don't have to have any 3D animation or particular art skills. You just have to have a good eye for design. We can teach you a lot of the rest of the workflow. It's mostly just about understanding what looks good on a character, and we're talking character faces, character outfits, etc. We can teach you how to do all of that. And then next, we're looking for a Delphi, I've never said that aloud, Delphi, whatever it is, or Pascal scripter who can do some stuff for us. If you've got experience in XEdit scripting, that's essentially what you'll be doing. If you don't, I can teach you that. It's not hard. If you have the experience doing the general scripting of Delphi/Pascal. We're looking to design some new tools, and I need somebody to help take that on. And then next up, we have an opening for a Flash developer. So if you know ActionScript, you know Flash, we have some new user interface stuff we're looking to do, so we could use your help there. And finally, we are looking for a 2D animator. So if you've done some little cartoon stuff, no particular style, we're just looking for somebody who understands how to sync up animations and sounds. So if you've got that basic skill set, send me some samples through the settlements.com forums, and we will talk about what that project entails. So definitely check out the recruitment forum if you're looking to help out with some settlements, if you want to see it grow and evolve. And there are, again, some more posts beyond those 5 positions I just mentioned. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Again, watch out for more and more news videos. As I'm managing more mods, it means I'm going to be releasing stuff more frequently. And again, watch for a Sim Settlements patch next Friday. All right, guys, take care and enjoy the mods.